Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Junie Moon, and she is one of my monthly subscribers. So here's her story. Hi, Ollie. So amazing to see you and Charlene have survived Irma with the power on the whole time. Big cyber hugs. I'm a monthly donor via PayPal. I use my late hubby's email address. And I never asked for a video before, but I believe this topic is timely. Please cover how loved or loathed ones feel entitled to contact us during emergencies and make things difficult for everyone, including first responders. As an EMT, how did you deal with other people's narcs, and did you have to sedate any of them? Thanks in advance for unique perspectives on narcs, disastrous behavior during disasters. All the best, Junie Moon. Well, when I was a firefighter, EMT, and riding on ambulance calls and medical calls, you know, I don't know where you live or what department would be responding that you've had, that you had dealings with, but we were in charge of a medical scene. So really the only times you really could see that there was a problem, we had any issues as far as I would I guess consider narc related, it was always over DNRs, do not resuscitate orders. And this happened on quite a few occasions where family members started, where somebody went into cardiac arrest and there was fights going on over do not resuscitate with the family, and people yelling and screaming, don't resuscitate them. Yeah, resuscitate. There's a DNR order. No, there's not. This happened quite a few times. And obviously it's always over money, but the thing about when I was on was EMTs, paramedics, first responders do not honor DNR orders. Only a doctor. That's for the hospital. You call first responders and they've coded out, at least how it was when I was there. By law, you have to do something about it if you've responded. So we would tell people, if there is a DNR order, don't call 911, because if we show up, we're going to start CPR. And I remember one time we got into it. At least I got into it with one of the cops in town, because when we got into the house, the guy was coded out on his couch. The cops were just standing over him, which wasn't necessarily out of the ordinary. Sometimes they would be doing CPR, sometimes they wouldn't, depending on who it was. The cop that was there was somebody who would have done doing CPR, but I don't know when they arrived at the scene. The police got dispatched before we did. You know, in that town, 911 went to the police, went to the police dispatcher, and the police dispatched us out. So cops are on the road, we're in the house, the cops getting there first, and we don't know how long they've been on scene for, because most times we were paged out if we weren't at the firehouse, so it could take some time. Go in, see the guy there, start doing chest compressions on him, pull him off the couch, we start doing CPR. The cop comes in, he's like, there's a DNR order. And like, first of all, we don't honor DNR orders. Secondly, once you've actually started chest compressions, you absolutely cannot stop. You're not allowed to stop. And now with that rule is, like, if you're off duty or you see somebody, if you're off duty or you're like in the mall and you see somebody coded out, you're under no legal obligation to stop and help. But if you do stop and help and start chest compressions, you can't stop until you're relieved or a doctor comes and calls it, because you're not allowed to call it. So he took it personally as, you know, undermining his police authority, which on a medical scene, we're in charge anyway. But that ended up getting worked out at 2 in the morning as I was coming home from work, and he's pulling me over. He's pulling me over. The same cop, like, trying to say I was speeding, and then he's spitting. I'm like, why don't we cut the, like, we know what this is. And then there was just me and him just start arguing, and more cops come, and then they heard on the radio that I was pulled over at the firehouse, and then they came down, and it was like, what is going on? And it was this whole thing. We ended up just like working it out and walking away from it, but it was really, really silly. But look, Junie, overall, it doesn't necessarily have to be a medical emergency when the narc is going, because why is going to contact or feel their entitlement? The narcissist is always going to attack at your most vulnerable, at your weakest times. They're going to force their way in. They're going to shake things up. It doesn't matter. It's not necessarily because it's a medical emergency. It's just an opportunity. The narcissist never, ever, ever misses an opportunity to screw with you. Never pass an opportunity to push your narcissism on anybody. Now, as far as sedating people, no, we didn't have the authority to sedate anybody, and I'm glad. Like, we don't sedate people. I mean, you're getting into a lot of legality there if you're talking about sedating people who are upset. Now, what we would do is we would remove somebody of being upset, being a distraction from the room physically. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Out, 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 and that was it. You know, when you physically move somebody, they get the hint. They get the hint. And I'm not saying to do that in a family situation or something. We could get away with it because we're the medical professionals. We're there to help. You know, it's about keeping the scene clear and safe. And if we got to physically move somebody to do that, we're going to physically move somebody to do that. We're not going to get to a point where somebody needs to be sedated. That's why they always send the police with the fire department for kind of crowd control and to take care of that sort of thing. At least in New Jersey, they always send the police out with the fire department on medical calls, because you don't know what you're walking into. You're walking into people's houses and such. The narcissist is going to use times of crisis to make things difficult for everyone. Doesn't matter if it's a medical crisis, a financial crisis. It doesn't matter. A crisis is a crisis to the narcissist, and opportunities will not be missed. So I hope that helps. You've been such a great subscriber of mine for so long. I wish I had something more to say on the topic. So I appreciate, though, all your support and your question. I hope this helps. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comments section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a phone call, Skype, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or you just want to sponsor the channel in general, help keep the lights on, see it grow, the rent paid, because this channel is still sponsored 100% by contributions from all of you. So you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. And if you're still unclear, wait for the video link to the instructional video to pop up on the screen at the end of this video to walk you through all of that. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.